Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Fakt Vs Ficktion, the only podcast where the F word isn't what you think it is. My name is Tom, and I exist. Joining me is also Tom.
The jury's out on whether I exist.
John.
Yes, you. You hit the what?
And Matthew.
He's the one currently dying right now.
Because John started laughing, which made me start laughing, which made Tom start laughing.
I was about to say this is the first fiction week that we didn't start on a meme, and yet here we fucking are.
Oh god.
I was just giggling because Matt said before this. I remember his intros is me, John, Tom, John. That's the way we do intros. And it's like, wait, you've completely forgotten one of the Toms, so just maybe twice. This isn't a fair workload.
Oh god.
Oh god.
Oh.
I reckon that in terms of the grand scheme of things, that's probably one of the cleanest intros we have had.
Did the Discord stutter there, or was that you in real life? Because I felt like and I just couldn't.
I think that was me in real life.
Okay, yeah.
Tom
Words
glitched
are
in
clone.
real life.
It sounded too clean, even not too clone.
He needs to shut down and restart a 20-minute period by Windows updates itself.
Does that thing where his eyes roll into the back of his head while he reloads.
Floppy disk shoots out the back.
I don't use Windows. It's very breezy in here.
Oh, don't tell me you're a Mac.
He's a fucking Linux.
No, he's not wearing it.
I said that
Tom,
was
are
such
you a
venom.
Windows Mac or are you a Windows Mac or irrelevant?
I'm on a Mac, so irrelevant, I think.
Does anyone actually use Linux? I don't even
No, that's why I
I don't know
made the
what
joke.
that is.
say.
That-
I
Snoopy
think the
spins.
people who use it, you don't want to know. I think that's the way it works.
Superior
Yeah.
Linux model. Anyway,
Running on your IBM 5100.
let me get my Commodore out.
Oh Christ! I think I know someone who still has one of those.
Oh
What, a
god,
Commodore?
it's
Well,
I'm gonna
there's
say
a
if he
guy.
has an IBN, then
No. He's
Sir
when
would
you-
like to know his location.
it's
When you
it's
say
a guy- it's a
Commodore,
guy-
all I can think of is the Commodore from Pirates of the Caribbean.
oh, Mr. Norrington. Oh,
Burn holes in my shit. Anyway,
it's fiction week. Are
It
you ready
is.
to wow us? I'm ready to learn more about
Are you
Harry
ready to
Daniels,
be
the
wowed?
imaginary Kelpie hunter.
Are we skipping
Are we skipping the hypothetical?
theoreticals?
I mean,
do you say theoretical rather than hypothetical?
Yes,
Theoretical
same thing.
The theoretical, hypothetical.
I hope everybody's studied their physics.
I am the definition as a Mother Major General.
I'm glad you cut
Majoring in
on
sciences
Major
and all
General.
things
Nothing to
mathematical.
follow that.
Does no one have a
Well,
hypothetical this week?
I did not plan for one because I was too
I'm just
busy planning
vibing.
my own subject.
John, I thought you said you were vibrating. Wait, you
was too-
just start shaking.
What? Did you say you were too busy vibing?
Just vibing, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, well,
I was gonna say I was busy researching my own subject because I started watching something last night and I got like 2 episodes in and I'm like, okay, I need to do an emergency U-turn and turn this into this week's topic.
Okay. Yeah.
preparation is the key.
What's
look,
what hypothetical? What hypothetical? What's a fucking thing? Fuck it. What's the worst? What's probably the worst thing you've ever watched, TV show wise, and just gone, yeah, no, this is off like in the first episode, kind of thing. If you can even remember it.
I know the worst thing
oh,
I committed to
I
watching.
can't think of.
I can remember it. Hemlock Grove is on Netflix, and I thought it was like this supernatural werewolf thing.
It
No,
is.
no.
I did watch a season or two of
and
it.
like, and the only reason I watched it is because it had the chief from Battlestar in, and I liked him as an actor. And I was like, oh my god, he turns into a wolf at the end of the first episode. No, he turns into a tiny fucking dog. There's
Like a
nothing
chihuahua?
impressive about it. Well, no.
No, it's
Yorkshire Terrier.
It's a fair-sized dog. Yeah.
I would say he was a small German Shepherd. Anyway, I turned it off.
like a Belgian Malinois. Yeah. Anyway,
A
That's the worst
Belgian man of war.
I've watched.
Malinois.
Oh,
Belgian man of war just turns into a boat.
I've seen that anime.
He's a 36 gun ship when the moon is full.
That's the best.
It's a war.
That's got to be the best
to the
form of
sea.
lycanthropy I've ever
Just his
seen.
car explodes
It's a wereboat.
into a ship, a wet ship.
Where
I know.
Oh, yeah,
ship that.
Hemlock Grove is the worst thing I've ever watched in memory.
My one, I think I walked in once and TV was on, and I think I just left it on a channel while I was doing something in the garden. I walked in and an episode of Supergirl was on, and I was just like, this is awful. This is just bad. It's bad acting. The CGI effects, I can see them like the area around them almost fuzzy and bad.
No.
Like it's like this is awful. It's
One of
just
my
truly
favorite things
shit.
about
All I remember about Supergirl is their initial trailer was 7 minutes long.
that's too long. Too
That's
long.
half an anime.
One of my favorite things about Supergirl is I've seen some of the background stuff for when I think they did the crossover.
Are you
with
talking about?
Flash.
Are you
yeah.
talking about the
Like,
fucking?
her character jumps. No, like there's this thing where her character obviously jumps up, but she's on wires and she just jumps on the spot, and they call action. She jumps on the spot, and then they
Yeah.
call cut, and they obviously CGI the jump.
Was it the Flash doing that? Or was it fucking her?
Yes.
And but
that was the
just,
Flash.
but just watching
Just
that
so the
clip,
readers understand, it's John is stood there with his arms
arms
outstretched,
like straight
circling.
out and just kind of like vaguely circling them, like a shit windmill. But it's I even watching that little jokey clip of them trying their hardest to act, it doesn't feel like good acting, even behind the scenes. Like, we'll get him next time, kind of thing. Too strong for us now. I was like, oh, it just hurt.
There was
just
one other
hurts.
thing I watched when
Like
I
a 4-Kids
briefly-
Yeah.
Like a what, Tom?
Like a 4-Kids dub. Back,
Oh god.
I guess, yeah, like back in the day before they actually had translated things and they just made up their own plot lines to shit like One Piece.
Oh my god. But I was gonna say the other thing I just remembered. It was back when I had Hulu, or I had a
You
VPN.
paid for Hulu?
Ooh.
I don't know.
Like fucking up.
I had it illegally or something. Or Hulu or Aloha.
Messed up.
I don't know. It
Yeah.
was like some illegal thing that put me in America.
A
That's called the
VPN?
border crossing.
I don't think it was a
Plane.
VPN.
Yeah,
Criminal.
I don't think it was a VPN, but this was
he's shipping out to Boston.
Oh, shit.
And I was on the American Netflix, and there was a show. I think it was called The 300 or something. And the idea was like everyone was in orbit above Earth because Earth was, you know, that
was
classic,
it the 100 or something like that?
We're surviving. Oh, it might be the 100.
Oh, the 100.
And they all go. They have to send all the kids down because it's safe for the kids, but not the adults for some fucking reason. And then, like, the guy sets him down as the son of the president and then gets murdered by someone. And it's like, this is so edgy. I hate it. And then,
Clearly-
like, that's the only thing I watched from when I had that VPN thing. And I never watched it. I got rid of it the next day. So I can only assume I went onto American Netflix, watched one episode of 100, went, "Puh, American Netflix is shit," and then got rid of it.
You didn't even get the other chance. Like, nope, poison in the well.
Tom and Tom, any or your worst things?
I can definitely remember a few times turning on to E4 at lunchtime and there being some trashy sitcom on.
like the Big Bang.
Yeah, like Big Fat Theory. Or the one that I'm thinking of that I saw recently, like last year at some point. I can't remember what it was called, but it had Kevin James in it.
Which one's Kevin James?
He,
And Andy.
he's
Adam Sandler's
Paul
mate.
Blart. Paul Blart,
Oh, him. Yeah.
pretty sure. He was...
Oh, him, yeah.
But yeah, it was just...
Apparently there is a Paul Blart too. I've yet to see it.
Yes,
I need to find that cursed
It
tape.
was one of those things where you're watching it and you're like, this isn't comedy, this is sadness disguised as comedy.
These people are in pain.
Is it like, I think, well, when he gets the tape, just says, my wife died last year, and then everyone kind of laughs, that's the end of the joke, and he just carries on.
it's like, I live with my wife and kids, but I hate them all. And then canned laughter. Ad break.
Yes, I can relate, for I also hate my wife and kids.
I hate your wife and kids.
We all
We
do.
all hate your wife and kids, Matt. You know?
You have horrible taste.
I wouldn't have
Disclaim-
married her.
Disclaimer, Matt is single. We just need to specify
Well,
that
he's
for
not,
the
but
audience.
his wife
Just
is
Yes,
so
I
married
just
when he says
divorced
that.
my wife. available now.
After hearing our comments, he's decided to go through with the divorce.
That's right, wife. You're fired.
That's how divorce works. No
Oh.
Christmas bonus for you.
Oh,
What? Okay.
John missed that.
I had no Christmas bonus for you. I was like, okay.
Yeah, because
Oh.
they're fired.
Oh, Corby,
Right,
do
yeah,
you have anything you want to contribute to this?
I do, but I don't want to say too much because I want to possibly hold it off for an episode further down the line. I don't suppose anyone here has heard of an anime called School Days.
No.
No.
I'm already suspicious.
Yeah,
I mean, you
I
may
have never,
tried anime.
I have never been angry watching a show.
I'm so.
Oh, I have been.
You left
Apart
the
from
board
watching,
then? I have
apart
never been
from
angry.
watching
Oh,
School
fuck.
Days.
No, there was a vampire thing. I can't remember what it's called now. I'm gonna have to try and figure it out.
It's not
Vampire
Sarah for the
Diaries,
End, is it?
It was a BBC one, I think.
True Blood.
Nah,
Was
I'm
it
out
the-
then.
BBC's Dracula.
Wasn't young
Uh,
Dracula, was it?
BBC recently did
No.
a Dracula thing with the writers from Sherlock.
It wasn't Dracula. It was bloody Christ. It might not have been BBC actually, but it was like the. There was the dumb one where it was like, oh, there's technically there's a thing going on between like werewolves and like witches
Oh.
and everyone's that kind of shit. I talked to you
Or
about
is
this
it
guy
in
thing.
order on Netflix?
No, might not be. I don't know.
No, I think
I
it
don't
is.
think
I think it is.
I'll Google it and have a look at the fucking main cast. But
It's.
uh,
One of my mates was talking about it. And like, hello, like it looked interesting, but immediately they were disappointed. Like they were going through.
oh God, what happened to their faces? No, that's not the one I was thinking of. Sorry.
Like,
Oh God!
That's the main.
Oh, no.
poster.
they've eaten bees.
John, can you put that in the Discord so I can show the people at home?
I happily will. I don't like it.
Oh,
That's not. It's
That
not
does
the
look a bit
order.
like there was a misprint at the action figure printing place.
It's not the order.
Well, they
because the
actually
order's
printed the
American.
person.
The one I'm
I'm
thinking
so,
of takes
I'm
place.
so glad I sold you to look for that, though. I wouldn't have found that gem.
Oh, it's not the order. I'll put it in Messenger because I can't put it on Discord here. It's not the order because that's an American one. The one I'm thinking of takes place in London, pretty much.
Oh
Except
god.
with an excursion to Scotland. So there's guy can
Wait.
go fucking hunt.
Wait,
this vampire
it's
guy
not-
can go hunt a
It's
person.
not the one where it's the vampire, the ghost, and the werewolf all living in a house.
No, that's being human. That wasn't actually too bad.
Okay, I'm out of suggestions.
Yeah, no, it's gone. It's gone. It's fine. It deserves to be gone.
Well,
But it was the
Tom.
whole thing about where basically they were trying to
Yeah.
hunt down a MacGuffin, and it's like, oh, they haven't found this MacGuffin for like fucking hundreds of years, and this woman just checks out the library. The library, and
Oh, I
it's
remember you
not-
telling me
it's
about
not-
this.
Yeah, I was angry.
Well,
I'm
the
not gonna
funny
lie.
part is in my Cthulhu game, the players were in a library and they just happened to find the cult book.
I'm not gonna lie, John. This picture looks worse now that you've put it in the chat.
Like
It's
worse
getting
quality or
worse.
scarier to look at.
It's what I hate looking at it.
It's like Dorian Gray, but real.
Oh,
it's like it's
it's-
sucking the life out of you. it's sucking the bees out of you.
So yeah,
I
don't
will,
watch.
I will save you from the bee venom. Hold still. Wee.
Your
yeah,
bee
don't
levels
watch
have been.
Don't watch School Days, kids. Is
Oh,
basically
God,
all
that's
this
so
boiled down
bad.
to.
That's
Your bee
even
lives have been
worse.
stabilized. What?
I know exactly
no.
what you mean, Corby. That is so. What is wrong with their face? What's wrong with his nose?
I don't know. It looks like someone just squished him from the side, like squish.
I think I'm gonna do one of those like creepy ass slow pans into the face.
It looks like somebody has pressed slightly, like put pressure on the front of their faces ever so slightly to widen them.
Someone's just like gone squished there, and just like, oh. I don't know what's happened with her. Like,
Oh
I don't
dear.
know. I don't want to be nasty.
All right.
But let's
I think
move on, please.
That's enough of that. Tom, do you
Yeah,
wanna
our
take
B
us
levels
on
have been
a
stabilised.
merry
Well-
adventure to one small town.
After all of that discussion about terrible TV shows, let me tell you more about my terrible TV show.
Oh, I'm
He's
ready.
already sighing.
I'm ready.
Is there
already
anything you
fucking
guys
sighing.
want me to jog your memory about?
just like a brief recap, I guess. Is it half the episode or a new episode?
This is the second half of episode 3.
Let's have a refresher of.
That's how far we're in, people.
I know. I edited episode. Not the episode, the second latest fiction one. So I remember the shooting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember the shooting, and then basically everyone woke up, and no one seemed to question why Harry O'Daniels is in this strange girl's house.
Harry O'Daniels, the invisible friend.
No, just like
Kelpie hunter.
posturing naked in the fucking window,
Yeah.
asserting his dominance
And then
over
no
the
one can
Kelpie.
see him. And
Yeah,
then the other thing was one of the girl without the head wound
Rachel.
sent Ben, who was a complete stranger, to the other girl's house to check on her.
Yep, that's right.
Despite the fact he'd never seen her before.
Oh,
Yeah.
Tom, give us.
Yeah.
Give us
So
professional
everyone
recap.
was hungover. As Tom said, Rachel sent Ben to go check on Amy, who miraculously is fine and doesn't remember that she was pushed, just thinks that she fell down.
I have seen the stairs. Those stairs will still kill someone if they fell down them.
I haven't seen them again yet, so yeah.
If you know where the church is, John. You know that road.
We explained it last time.
You know where the Olicana fish and chip shop is. Was.
Arcana.
Probably not.
I'll
Anyway.
show you there next time we go to the pub.
Cool.
Because they're not the ones you're probably thinking of either. Because I forgot they existed.
Don't you hate it when you forget some stairs exist?
Yeah.
Just show me the
End
Tesco
up-
ones. I'll
end
leave.
up like it.
Except after she pushed Amy.
I was gonna say end up like Amy.
But yes, so Ben went to check up on Amy, and they hit it off and agreed to go on a date sometime.
I love my girls with head wounds.
Ivy and Elliot also went on their first date. It was very awkward because Elliot killed a man not 24 hours previous.
He was taking it very well from
Not,
memory.
not even 12 hours previously, I don't think, at this
No,
point.
Probably not.
I wonder how well he slept.
Didn't they mock a waiter?
Yes, they also mocked a waiter.
Poor guy.
Fucking nerd.
He was just doing his job.
Look at him
What's
doing
wrong
his
with-
job and serving us
Be
hot drinks.
kind to public service workers.
Even if
Yeah.
they do speak like they're part of the landed gentry.
I thought that was for a second. I thought it was a personal attack against when I was a waiter. I was like, what?
You weren't part of the landed gentry.
Anyway,
We
And,
don't talk about John's time as the landed gentry.
and Jenny and Mike Ethan agreed to hang out because Mike Ethan wanted to get away from his parents arguing.
Ah, yes.
Now, I remember you guys wanting to know what his parents were arguing about, and luckily the answer comes in scene 5.
the safety catch.
Well,
So,
I'm pretty sure he was able to
Their
argue
secret
about
gambling stash.
murder hunt.
oh yes, that's another point. We found out that the gambling stash that got stolen by David belonged to Connor, Simon and Rachel's dad.
Right, yes.
I only remember that because, as I say, I only just edited the next episode to go up, so...
So, we pick up with Harry and Rachel walking on their way to get lunch somewhere. Rachel says she is considering going to the police about the potential breaking, but Harry dissuades her. He says, and I quote, "Going to the police and saying, 'I think someone broke in and didn't steal anything, but I don't know if they did or not,' isn't a very compelling case.
Hey, that's
Please.
sound logic from Harry.
Please forgive my terrible Irish accent."
Maybe don't do accents.
I've told you, if you want to DM some of the lines, we can read them.
Table read.
Oh
Totally
God!
down for a table read.
No, I'm not. No.
Anyway, as they're walking along, Jenny and Mike Ethan are approaching from the other direction. And Mike Ethan is talking to Jenny about what his parents were arguing about, which was, he says it was a stupid argument, and it was about soup.
Okay.
Oh God, no! I've got all I can think of is the soup
Soup
storms.
video. Have you been to the soup store?
It's just There's that.
Why are you buying clothes at the soup store?
I'm at soup!
Oh, I just can't
Oh.
feel like there's someone like chicken soup's pretty good. Fuck you, minestrone. That's all I've got in my head now. It's really bad.
Oh god.
Oh.
It
Mike
does
Ethan,
sound like you're just insulting an Italian man off in the distance.
Look, this isn't JoJo. Not every Italian's named after food.
Just prosciutto.
Yeah.
Oh. Mike Ethan clarifies what the argument was specifically about is his mum got the wrong kind of soup, and his dad got mad at her.
She got chicken and lentil when he asked for bacon and pea. Ham and pea.
That classic
She
soup
got-
with the bacon and pea.
He asked for chicken and lentil, and she bought lentil and chicken.
How dare you mock me in my house?
Oh, we shouldn't laugh. These people are probably going to divorce soon.
Oh, just like every other family.
No,
We'll
what?
see.
They're just gonna run away like every other family.
We will meet Mike Ethan's parents later on in the show.
You know, when they're in the jungle hunting him again.
They put down Elliot.
Oh,
We'll meet them on the other end of a sniper scope.
A shot will land near Mike Ethan, and then the camera will pan following this shot and go right up to the sniper scope, and you'll just see his dad behind it, and then not like load another round in.
just a white wife with the binoculars 0.5, right? And just...
His mum's there taking wind measurements.
yeah.
Imagining, and it's all of a sudden it's like a point-based skeet shoot, and it zooms back to his mum. It's like, oh, near miss. That's a 5 points. You're up next.
Oh, and that's a bad miss. Sorry.
Harry stops to tie his shoelace, which has come undone, and Rachel notices that he's wearing the same shoes that Ben had on earlier, which prompts Harry to ask who Ben Beckett is and whether or not he should be jealous. But
Why
Rachel
does he
tells him,
have Ben's shoes?
I don't think they're literally his shoes are the same type. I assume
the same brand, not the
Well,
it
Ben,
sounded like-
well,
exact
Ben was around
same
Rachel's house. It's
That was-
just-
shoes.
because I'd be very worried if I was Rachel and just sort of like he's wearing. Is Ben okay? Why have you got his shoes?
When I
There's
said
only
the
one-
same shoes, I meant the same brand and model, not he stole
There's
Ben's shoes.
There's
at
only
some
one
point.
pair of Converse in this universe.
The one Converse to string them all.
Well, Harry is Rachel's imaginary friend, so clearly she's just imagining Ben's shoes on Harry.
But anyway, Harry tells her to go ahead to make sure they get a table at the restaurant they're going to.
I was gonna say,
And-
why, Matt? Why have you made me imagine Harry O'Daniels as like a Frankenstein of every other boy we've met so far? When you say he's got like Ben's shoes, now I'm imagining him with parts of everyone else.
Ben's face.
Elliot, if OT
He's got
that
Simon's bridle.
wrist?
I started to see something else also like that, Simon. Yeah.
Wait, oh my god. I swear, they're 14, right?
They're,
No, they're
No, they're
16.
16.
They're 16,
You
sorry.
keep wanting them younger than they are.
Well,
You know
I
what?
may have accidentally said they were 14 in an earlier episode, but I was
You said it in the
mistaken.
very first episode, and ever since then, Matt's always gone,
my
they're
brain is
14 right
latched
in
on
every
to
other
it.
episode.
Matt's
you know what?
really
Doesn't matter.
committed to this digging hole bit, isn't
Oh
he?
yeah, I forgot what I was going to say. Doesn't matter.
Dig, grave digger.
So anyway, Rachel keeps going, and this is when Jenny steps in to say hello to Rachel, despite Mike Ethan thinking this is a bad idea.
Does
Rachel
Jenny
also
intercept
thinks
her?
it's a bad idea, and she is not happy that Jenny is talking to her.
Hi, don't speak to me.
That is pretty
gone!
much, yeah, that's pretty much how it goes.
What, with that kind of like old woman going, do not speak to me.
Be gone, thought.
I mean, that is basically like the 21st century version of that.
Have at thee, wench. Yeah, has evolved.
It's a be gone thought.
Brethren before wenches, yes.
But in response to Rachel's aggression, Jenny says this. Whatever Amy says about me isn't true. We all make mistakes, Rachel. If you don't know that already, you should.
Slow pan to the stairs.
Jenny is
Just
referring to the
just
drugs
glance
that she
over.
thought Rachel
Yeah.
took at the party.
Oh.
I was gonna say, did she see her taking drugs?
Yeah. The only people who saw Rachel push Amy down the stairs were Harry and Drake.
And Drake is not dead. The other one was dead.
Speaking of,
Speaking
speaking of, where is Chief Skulker?
Oh, we'll check in on him in a bit.
Which car is he hiding behind now? How's
All
his
of them.
teleportation abilities?
All of them.
He is the car.
After Jenny says that cryptic thing to Rachel, also the stage directions I forgot to say long pause. Mike Ethan looks confused.
I was going to say it's a long emotional pause kind of thing. That's
But
fucking
the camera pans between their heads. They're both staring blankly at each other, and then it turns to
Keaton
Mickey,
is
and he slowly raises an eyebrow.
Yeah, Mike Ethan's just like, what the hell is going on? Why are you talking to your worst enemy's best friend? But anyway, Rachel tells Jenny to sod off and leave her alone. And then Mike Ethan gently pulls Jenny away from the situation.
Just looking as I'm going to hack your internet, Rachel. Just you fucking wait.
Oh, I'm going to hack in there so good.
I am going to
Pix doesn't
find
know
your
what's going to hit it.
Oh my god. Also, no one has again acknowledged Harry O'Daniels, even though he's not that far behind.
Well, after Harry finishes tying up his shoe, he comes up and checks on Rachel and asks what all that was about, essentially. And then Rachel says she believes that Jenny saw her push Rachel.
I've just had a thought. Has she seen Harry O'Daniels ever since she took the drugs?
Oh my god.
Harry O'Daniels
He's a drug-induced hallucination.
I just like pieced that together just now. I'm like, wait a fucking minute.
I just love the fact that Harry O'Daniels has only interacted with one person, and that one person is Rachel.
Who has taken drugs?
I think you're onto something here, Tom.
A sound theory.
A game theory.
That is a... Oh, no. Does that count as an obscure reference? I can't remember last time.
No, not these days. It doesn't. Not these days. It doesn't.
Oh,
At this point, it's a meme.
yes. Are we waiting for John?
Yes.
I believe so. We are.
Look, you can't miss out on this hot,
This hot drama.
psychoanalysis that we're performing. Disclaimer: we're not actually therapists.
But we try. Even if you don't want us to.
Even if we don't really.
I will give you unsolicited bad advice.
Hey kids, you want some unsolicited therapy?
I'm going to make you feel better. No, not in that way.
Oh no.
Oh dear, we waited for you, John. It's okay. Tom has come up with an excellent theory that because Rachel has only seen Harry O'Daniels since the drugs, and no one else has interacted with him, he's clearly a drug-induced hallucination.
Clearly.
I told you once before, and I'm going to keep saying it. Harry O'Daniels is a Kelpie-hunted ancestor spirit here to hone Rachel's Kelpie hunting
skills, so she can murder her brother.
Is it her brother?
Yes.
Simon's her brother. Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
It's a very complicated family relationship.
Oh, it will be by the end.
Just wait till the secret gambling stash comes back into it.
So Harry goes to check up on Rachel, and then Rachel says that she believes Jenny saw her push Amy down the stairs, which she didn't. Jenny saw her take drugs. But based on this assumption that Rachel has now made, she decides once and for all not to go to the police to say that she thinks the house might have been broken into, because she thinks Jenny might be there reporting her for assault.
To be fair, she is right. She didn't see it, but she is correct.
True. I was waiting for you to say this at this point. Harry Daniels cocks his gun and goes to take her out.
Where the fuck did he pull that from?
You don't want to know. I mean, actually, if he's a Kelpie hunting ancestral spirit, he could just pull it out of thin air. It's his ghost gun.
Harry O'Daniels used gun. It's super effective.
With Solver.
No, that was Elliot.
So that's the end of that scene. We now check back in on Amy and Ben, who are deciding where to go for their first date. Then Ben, out of pretty much nowhere, reveals that he won tickets from a magazine to go on a 1-week adventure camp and invites Amy along. Amy is not thrilled
let's
at that.
spend a week together.
Let's go to a field.
Amy is not
you'll
thrilled
love
at the
it,
idea.
We'll be alone there.
Don't worry, I own a tent.
Singular.
She suggests instead maybe going to a meal or seeing a movie, what people tend to call a normal date.
For a second there, my mind just went singular tent. Tont, like in a different, like kind of like pure plural thing. I don't know why. I don't know why. I know tent and tense, obviously.
Enter my
Past
tons.
tense.
Ben agrees that he'll find someone else to go on the camping trip with him, and they
He sounds
both
so
leave.
disappointed. Like no one's wanted to go on the adventure camp with him, and he's like, "Oh, we go on the adventure camp." No.
The adventure camp just finds David's body.
You just need one other person. It doesn't specify if they need to be alive or dead. Also, did Drake hide David's body?
Did
We
he?
don't know.
That's
We
the
don't
question.
know.
If he didn't,
What-
you'd fully
the last thing we
expect
know-
police to be descending on like the
The,
town.
la- the last thing we saw of
gunshots echoed over Ilkley that someone would have given a shit.
That's true.
the last thing we saw of Drake and David was Drake filming David's death,
He picked
yeah.
the gun up as well. So,
and he picked the gun up.
And then
so
said,
it's not like they're gonna like actually find Simon and put the prints on it. Because let's be honest, if they find the gun on Drake, it's gonna be like, oh well, you fucking
"Yeah,
shot
you
him.
have the murder weapon."
Yep.
We then go back to everyone's favorite Kelpie, Simon,
Yeah.
who is emerged from his bedroom and is surprised to find out that he slept in till 1 o'clock.
Simon, get out the pond.
I don't know what happened. I just woke up in the family pond today. It's just
Family pond.
Wipes a lily pad out of his hair.
you know what I meant. The one at his house, not the public
Yeah,
pond,
Terming it as family
also
pond.
known as a river.
I spent a day in the public pond.
That's technically a correct sentence. It's not. That's
What?
not right.
Just be thankful we're not one of those nations that still have like public baths,
Oh god. You guys
even though they are majestic.
a Roman bath? A Roman bath? Day at the baths?
Actually,
Maybe
no,
do a
do we still
Turkish
have them
bath?
da-
Yeah.
No, we don't have those in Doncaster. No one cleans.
What is a bath? What is this BA?
Is that a flood? We have floods.
Just let's
We-
fish lake.
I mean, like we do. We really do. It's
I
concerning.
know. Sorry.
So Simon's mum, Chloe, asks if he's going to have any lunch, but he says no, he's going to go for a walk and clear his head. Then Chloe goes to Connor. Simon, apparently.
I've never once gotten up hungover and gone, you know what I need? I need a walk.
Walks
I
are
have,
good.
I have stood on.
Denying the niceties of
They're
walking,
sobering.
it's not hungover.
I have sat in the. I have woken up and sat in the garden.
Yeah.
Mostly because, like, if it's that bad, like, I sit in the garden, I'm like, I feel like if I move, I might be ill. You ever have those things?
If I
Yeah.
move from the spot, I might perish.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's where you feel like either I won't move and I'll be ill, or I will move and I'll be ill. I'm at an impasse here.
I better do 50-50 and only slightly move.
That wobble.
Just sway in the breeze.
Vibrate in the chair. Yeah.
Go out, sit on a bench, sway in the breeze. Point toward the sun.
What are you doing? Photosynthesizing.
Yes.
He's an alcoholic, not a sunflower.
So Chloe goes
You
to
okay
Connor
over there,
and
Tom?
so Chloe goes to Connor and notes that both the kids seem a bit off today. But Connor brushes it off. Chloe then notices that he himself doesn't quite seem himself, and he gets a bit tetchy at that, but then apologizes and reassures her that nothing's wrong. We, of course, know something is wrong because his secret gambling stash was stolen in the night.
Secret gambling stash stored in the kitchen.
Labeled secret gambling stash.
Labeled secret gambling stash.
In either a drawer or a cupboard that was locked.
I feel like this is a real double fake out kind of maneuver. Like this is going to
I'm
be
gonna
some sort of
say-
master plan of
Like if you think 3 out of 4 members of your family look a bit off or seem a bit off, does it never cross your mind that maybe you're the one that's a bit off today?
And Tom gaslights the victim. Boom. That's the bingo.
Look, all I'm saying is she's an alien. That's what I'm.
Let's not throw aliens into the mix yet.
Nah.
Yes.
I love that you said yet.
When is it socially acceptable to throw aliens into a mix?
March 15th.
I was going to say when someone gets abducted, but
Oh. So on Simon's walk, he sits on a wall and just sits. And Ben comes and finds him, and they catch up.
I mean, isn't Ben going on a date?
Hey,
No,
Simon, do you see my shoes anywhere?
Amy agreed to go on a date a week from now when Ben's back from the adventure camp.
Oh, hey, Simon, I was at Rachel's earlier.
Wait,
when I
he
left
has
my
to go
shoes on.
today? He has to leave for the camp today?
Hey,
No,
can we go
we
to
have to
date?
leave
Yes,
tomorrow.
but we can only go to adventure camp. We have to go tomorrow. We have to. There's no. We can't let
Come
it.
with me
We must
on
leave.
adventure
Yeah.
camp.
Pack
Don't
your
worry,
bags.
I have a month.
So Ben and Simon catch up, and Simon starts wondering aloud, once they go back to school, how long it'll take Ben to get a girlfriend. Ben reveals he already has one.
Oh
Simon-
no, Ben, you were doing so well. You were so
Simon asks
relatable.
who, and Ben says, Amy Memory. And I can imagine Simon's face at this juncture is similar to that meme with the woman with the equations.
Yeah.
Because the last time Ben and Simon were together was
Like,
last
how?
night.
And he's never met her, and then suddenly he's...
I'm so glad that
Just like,
Simon
when the hell did they
an
meet?
appropriate response. Like, what? Oh, Ben, you were doing so well.
I'm
Oh,
going to take down notes of names just to keep the people separate in my mind.
It's fine, they'll die before you actually learn them.
one of them's
We're
already
down
died.
one villain,
That's
it's
what happened with
okay.
David, after all.
Ben then invites Simon on the adventure week, but Simon declines as he has his grandfather's birthday the following week.
Oh, is that
So
Simon
the-
invites Ben?
No,
Hang on a minute,
Ben
was it Ben
invites
invi-
Simon.
Oh, that was it.
So,
Okay, cool.
so Ben goes to the adventure camp tomorrow.
Ben has won a competition in a magazine that lets him and a friend go on this adventure camp,
Yep,
which
and he's going
starts tomorrow, and it's a week long.
and Simon's grandfather's birthday is next week.
Is in that week.
So it's in that
And he-
week, okay.
Yeah, so he wants to be there for his granddad's birthday, so can't go on the adventure camp thing.
Naturally.
But he then suggests,
Yeah,
why don't you take Elliot?
Oh yeah, Elliot will love that.
Ben,
Hey, you want to go lay low for a week?
What activities
reckon
do we have
Elliot-
lined up? Oh, well, we've got shooting.
The adventure camp is run by Mike Ethan's dad. He's going to teach him how to hunt the most dangerous game.
Wow, good shot, Elliot. Just flashbacks.
Ben then calls Elliot.
What is the most dangerous game in Ilkley?
Cocaine tiger.
People.
Mike Ethan's dad.
He's the one hunting it, Tom.
To be fair, it's probably a badger that's found some lot like cocaine that someone's left behind somewhere.
It's the
That
chihuahuas
will
on my
probably.
It's a badger
Oh.
with
Not
a
that bad.
knife.
You just get a bigger dog, unfortunately.
So
I'm
at,
not going to say
Simon's-
what happened with that chihuahua, but nothing good.
So at Simon's suggestion, Ben calls Elliot and asks if he wants to come on this adventure week. Mentions it'll have zip lines, tree climbing, that sort of thing. A place
Shooting.
to clear your head and get some fresh air. And on hearing that, Elliot agrees to come on the adventure week.
shock horror. I was going to say, were you thinking of like Go Ape or Robin Wood? When
Yeah, something like Go Ape or Robin Wood, which for anyone
other
internationally
zip-line
listening, are
woodland adventure places.
adventure places.
Robin
So-
Wood's not just like survive the muggers, is it? Because that's what it sounds like.
Survive the muggers.
Robin is as in the bird, not as in the
Okay.
crime.
It sounded like I had a G on the end when you said it. Fair enough. Yep.
Robin,
So,
I was picturing Robin Hood, but
No. John, you're thinking of the mugging forest.
You know what I am. Yeah.
right next to Shankback Mountain.
But you can go up to Crime Pine.
Oh.
So Elliot agrees to go on this thing, and Ben says, "Great. By the way, it starts tomorrow. My mum will pick you up at 6:30 a.m. and take us there." And hangs up.
Bring your hippo cozy.
The next scene, I think, is the weirdest scene in this section.
No.
But it's very short.
Okay.
We catch up with Drake, who is in a room full of junk.
These just pistols and other stuff.
No
from-
further description. And he is he's like just in a room full of drunks somewhere. Unclear where exactly he is. It's a room full of drunks. No, it's unclear exactly where he is. And he's just playing with his gun, which is presumably not loaded.
Is he just like handling the murder weapon without gloves on?
Again.
Yeah, just spinning the barrel,
Like,
opening and
Let me
closing
just
it.
get my DNA over this. Licks the
has
barrel.
anyone played Metal Gear Solid?
Yeah.
Like Revolver Ocelot?
Yeah. Oh my god.
That's some good stuff.
And he starts
Also,
pacing.
Can we just admire how good a name Revolver Ocelot is?
That is a very good name.
Anyone
is.
else imagining an ocelot with revolvers?
Like a mantis. They're all fucking good.
Yes. Funnily enough, the name Revolver Ocelot does conjure up that image.
It's a possum with a gun.
Later on, there's a shaman with a tank. It's all great.
Oh, shit, yeah.
I mean, like, Metal Gear Solid is that game to me that has the backflipping bee-firing commando guy. That's Metal Gear 3.
Tom, I am so sorry that you have just no context for this.
There's a man made
I
of
do
fire
not.
in the last ones.
Oh yeah, that's 3 as well.
Anyway, let's find out about Drake, his
Yeah.
drunks, and his urge to put his DNA on the gun.
So Drake just starts pacing in the room and sort of doesn't trip on something, but like stumbles on something, and looks down and sees that it is a DVD copy of Spider-Man 1. He picks it up and looks at it, and he says, "Huh, with great power comes great responsibility. With no responsibility comes great power."
Tell me he looks at the gun. He's got the DVD in one hand and the gun in the other. He
Yeah,
looks
pretty much.
too.
We then cut back to Amy, who is coming home. Presumably she's been somewhere, time has passed between scenes. But she finds another threatening note. If you remember, when Ben came to see her at the first half of this episode, he found one.
I remember us ripping on the note. Tiny writing at the top corner.
This note says, "I hope you burn in hell."
That's nice.
Amy discards it somewhere and ignores it.
That's
Somewhere and burns
wait,
it.
the way Matt just described it with like that's nice made me think it was like some kind of Hallmark greeting card.
Like something sent from Moonpig or Funky Pigeon.
I hope you burn in hell. Yours, Faith.
Really bad if it's
Oh.
like a religious card. Or is it what the church sends out to blasphemers? Leave that awkward, quiet moment.
I mean,
I mean,
like,
I'm not fucking with the church, not again.
I'm gonna say we don't have any churches that send out cards here, so
Or do we?
Anyway,
No, we don't.
Jehovah's Witnesses turned up once, but they didn't like the hills, so I don't think he ever came back.
I can't stop watching this Revolver Ocelot.
Is it
kid.
well known that Mormons don't like hills?
Well, it's like a bear, like you can outrun them if you run down a hill.
What? That doesn't make
What?
sense.
What?
Yeah.
But you've more momentum going downhill.
Yeah, and they're more likely to trip.
And so does the bear.
Yeah, and they're more likely to trip. It's fine.
How a bear's known for tripping?
Downhill.
Oh,
I'm imagining a bear tripping down a hill now, and it's
It's not
quite.
the best guys for tripping.
Well, Matt,
Tell you
Matt,
what.
let me put it this way: play Blood Bowl and try and tell your Kislev bear to dodge.
Oh no, I've done that. It doesn't go well.
Scene 8 picks up the next morning, 6:30 a.m. Ben's mum has come to pick up Elliot. Elliot gets in the car, and Ben is also in the car. And they
Hi,
drive
Elliot.
to
We're
the
going to
adventure
camp without Ben. You and me.
I just checked bears can run down hills very fast.
And they drive off to the adventure camp with Elliot looking forlornly out of the window. And the same song that was playing in the opening montage for this episode, Parallel Worlds by Elliot Minor, is playing again as a callback.
He like
I'm gonna say-
drive past David's body.
In my head, like I know you said that song was playing, but in my head, all I can hear is "All around me are familiar faces."
I just like the drive away, and she just puts on the like. Oh, here's a mix. All the other kids.
Oh. She put on the Clash song, but
my
it's
God.
murdered. That would be.
Oh, it's out the top quality.
Oh, God.
But but the music cuts off completely when
Mama,
we then cut to Ivy
just
coming
killed a
down the
man. Put a gun up to his head. You just see him just like rocking in the backseat.
It's just like all these songs, just one after another on the radio, and it's just like,
and you're to blame.
Gun violence is greatest hits.
Elliot, you killed a man. How did that get in that mix? Sorry.
Oh.
I'll stop reading.
The music, however, cuts off completely when we cut to Ivy walking down the stairs in her own house, and she notices that someone left the TV on overnight in the living room. Annoyed, she goes to turn it off, but she's about to turn it off, but then she sees what is actually on the TV. A news report of the death of her cousin, David, which would be a very dramatic end to the episode, except for the dialogue that I had the news reporter say.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It could have been like, oh, and this guy's been murdered, smashed.
Do you
up
want
to
to
her face.
Oh,
do you want to read this out, or do you want to make one of us read this out?
I want to read this out.
Okay,
Aw.
good.
The second sentence specifically is really what gets
I think Tom has to read it out because we might break down.
It's one of those things, probably, isn't it? You'd have to have great
Okay.
composure.
News presenter. Last night, a young boy was found dead in Ilkley Park. The evidence gathered by forensic scientists shows that the victim was shot.
I feel
The forensic expert has
You see that hole there? Yeah, Bullet did that.
the forensic expert has indeed determined that he is dead.
Oh, it's very circular for a knife wound.
I mean, like, you joke, but like, I know this from reference. It's like you have to like have someone come up and be like,
Oh god.
"Yep, he's dead."
No, I know.
Before
You have
can
to
do
have someone
anything with them.
legitimately, like an expert check. Otherwise, you're not allowed to bury.
Oh my
people.
God.
Oh, yeah.
But
Expert can't be sure if it was a bear or a wolf that killed him, but he was definitely shot.
oh,
Because some are very
There's
small
more.
and very
Hey,
fast.
wait!
Hummingbird.
Fucking wait! Wait a fucking minute! They can't tell if it was a bear or a wolf, but he was definitely shot. So he was shot by a bear or a wolf.
I don't know. Got me.
oh.
Forensic experts are very confused because neither bears nor wolves can handle guns, but we are on the lookout for a bear or a wolf.
If anyone listening is studying forensic science, you will know you don't need that to clarify whether or not someone has been shot. The bullet hole is usually evidence enough.
I mean, I think someone could have stabbed them and then shot the body. So, like, but yeah,
So,
bravo, Tom. On that sentence.
the evidence gathered by forensic scientists shows that the victim was shot. No gun was found at the scene, but there was a bullet in the victim's chest. They found his name to be David Y., son of Jack and Louise Y. The following may be disturbing for some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
All I could
Can you-
imagine when you said David Y, my brain just went, David, why?
Can you put that in Discord just so I can give it my best news impression reading
Yes.
for the people?
Oh, you wanted it? Okay, right.
Of course I do. I
I'll
do
put
this
that in
shit
the
for
Discord.
like semi-popular. I do this stuff like almost all the time on.
All right. Yeah.
So,
What do you think me playing Steins Gate is?
Ivy
As long as it's not
recognizes...
Donald Duck.
It's just reminds me of another podcast I was reading where they were on about like, do you class visual novels as gaming or whatever? And it was just like, no, because every time I open this up, I'm like, hang on a minute, this is just a book. This is just a book with extra pictures in it.
Off the
Ivy,
visual
of
novel.
I mean,
Ivy-
literally.
Ivy, of course, recognizes her cousin and whispers David, and the
I
end
know
credits
that guy.
roll, followed
Why
by
did my
trailer.
brain added an extra? So it's like, oh, you recognizes her cousin from the bullet hole in his chest.
Hey, that's David! I recognize him from the bullet hole!
David has bullet holes in his chest. Oh no! Voice kind of cracked. That was weird.
Also,
Oh,
like,
oh,
it took them
no!
a whole day to find and report on that.
I mean, like, we don't know where he was stood. He could be in a secluded area.
Oh,
He
see,
was up
I was
against a
imagining
fence.
him. I was imagining him getting shot on like Bolling Road for some reason, not in the park.
He was up against a fence in the park. Tom is right. It's a ridiculously long time for this news to be breaking.
Yeah, no, it is. Like,
Oh,
typically,
God.
like a fucking dog walker finds these kind of people in early
I was
hours. So,
gonna
yeah,
say a
it's
dog wiper.
I'm not repeating it in case it's a slur somewhere. But yeah.
Oh, that is that.
I'm gonna read this in my best, like,
Oh,
old-timey 1960s news reporter.
Please do.
Last night, a young boy was found dead in Ilkley Park. The evidence gathered by forensic scientists shows that the victim was shot. No gun was found at the scene, but there was a bullet in the victim's chest. They found his name to be David Y., son of Jack and Louise Y. The following may be disturbing to some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
I like to think this. They found his name to be David White. It's like, oh look, his name's over there.
It is a weird, like he's got a name tag on or something.
Yeah, it's like when you shot, your name falls out or some nonsense.
Just before he died, he rearranged some twigs to re-spell out his name. For some
Why
reason.
did-
like an
David White
elaborate
has been
version
shot
of
by
that
the man
Sherlock
and then he
Holmes,
bled
the
out.
first episode.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
Oh.
majestic, Tom. Thank you.
So, any
Oh.
idea what's going to happen next?
No. No.
I really
The
want
adventure
Drake
camp
to
gets
turn up
hunted
at
by
this
Predator.
adventure camp for some unknown
Yes.
reason.
Just puts a
I-
Rambo strap on his head and just.
I'm going to have to burst your bubble and say we won't see the adventure camp.
Oh,
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Basically, what happened with that was
You tempted.
I want to skip a week in the timeline, so I'm going to have some characters go away for a week, and then we'll come back a bit later.
actually,
No
nobody
one else
does
lives.
anything when Elliot
And
and
no-
Ben are not there.
No,
They
no,
don't exist unless the main character is in the region.
So everyone else is NPCs, and they can't do anything when the main character's not there.
It's like
They're not
Minecraft. He's the
rendered.
world anchor.
Still. Oh,
Ugh.
Which
Thank
one,
you.
Ben or Elliot?
Jesus.
'Cause he definitely ain't Simon.
I think you could argue that Elliot is the main character, but I tried to write it with the aim that no one's really the main character. They all have equal
Screen
screen time,
plot
and their lives happen to interconnect.
because it's wild and mental. Our lives here in Ilkley, like, oh my god,
Yeah.
the dinosaurs are back. As I look out my window,
Wait, how did you know the plot for episode 14?
I'm miles ahead of you, Tom.
Oh,
Right, well, before
Also,
I start
I-
my session, I'm gonna pee. I'll be right back.
So glad
Yeah.
you shared
Look.
that. Oh my god,
I might
think
go try and get some crumble.
my chest hurts, Tom, from that fucking line. And
yeah,
for
it really
anyone-
undercuts the dramatic
been
tension.
shot.
doesn't it?
Jesus. I'm just gonna get some grumble from downstairs. Be right back.
see,
It's plum grumble.
The thing is, you could have left that without the
Not
news
having it.
report and the word at the end. All you would need is like a shot of Ivy's face, and you know that it's the news
Yeah.
report. Oh, forensic evidence shows he's been shot. Meh, forensic evidence shows he's been shot. See, meh.
There is or was a joke at some point, and I can't remember if I cut it out or not. But obviously, Ivy's name is Ivy Y, and her initials are also the spelling of her name is also IVY. I can't remember if that was a joke I cut from the pilot or if it will come up later on.
Seems weird. Like, also, how is their
But yeah.
surname spelled? Or is it just the letter Y?
W-I-G-H.
No, it's WIDH. It's there in the Discord chat.
A Y.
But that joke is the only reason I gave them that surname.
And you don't even know if you cut it out or where
I
it
don't
is.
even know if I cut it out or not.
Brilliant.
Wasn't he the one with
Oh.
the dead parents?
Yes. But he may or
How
may
do they
not.
know who his parents are if they're dead?
I
Did they die
think
in
the
Italy,
implication
or
is meant to be his fingerprints are on file somewhere, so they know some stuff about him.
He's a known criminal. Some say he sold a drug.
Is he a smooth criminal?
I think
though?
actually canonically he has been in jail at some point.
Italian jail?
No,
Never wanna go to
regular.
Italian jail.
What's the difference between regular and Italian jail?
Nah, man, we went on
Equals.
holding. There's a big difference.
As the spaghetti. Before we actually go into the anime pit, I want to tell you the name of the next episode, just as a bit of sizzle,
Hey,
because it's
element
got an
spice.
interesting name. So, I also can't remember what happens in the next episode at all. But it is called One Small Town, Episode 4, The Revenge of Fate.
Dun
Please tell
dun
me
dun
fate-
dun dun dun
But
dun
fate
dun.
doesn't do revenge. Fate happens to you eventually.
I really hope that Fate is just like a jilted ex-lover of like Harry O'Daniels
One of
Okay,
Ben's many
jeez.
exes.
from Ireland.
Why is the population of Ireland following Ben to
Oh
Ilkley?
no!
Because let's
He's like
face
the
it,
Pied
Ireland's not
Piper.
great.
Oh,
There's a reason why we've got a lot of Irish comedians over here.
you sound so angry about that, John.
What did Ed Byrne do to you, John?
I believe that the population of Ireland is either not quite, or is only just reached the population of what it was before the Great Potato Famine.
Gonna give us statistics?
Wow.
Oh, at some point. Fuck you. I'm eating.
It's not Fact Week. He doesn't have to give us anything.
I don't have to give you shit, mate.
I was gonna say he doesn't owe you anything.
I just lied to you about bears running down hills. I don't know shit. Just-
I feel like how we all questioned your that fact was correct.
Well, look, I mean, it was literally because
Oh.
he hadn't spent the week researching it.
I also like the fact that you came back a second later and it turns out bears can run downhill, as if they couldn't have run downhill before.
no, they can run downhill very fast. I didn't know they could go fast down. Because there was a whole thing about, like, oh, their back legs are slightly longer than
Well,
front
it'd
legs,
be,
because they still
it'd
run
be
down
like
hills.
momentum.
And it's a myth.
Cause them to fall over, I would imagine.
Yeah.
The weight distribution.
I once met a man who claimed bears couldn't climb, and that's why he escaped. I was like, no, you idiot.
If you die up a tree from a bear.
I hadn't heard from him, probably.
Oh, well, whenever you're ready,
Oh.
Tom.
Well, speaking of it not being Fact Week and in fact being Fiction Week, Tom, regale us with some anime.
Oh,
Make my brain hurt.
I already feel like I said at the beginning of this episode I had another show planned to talk about this week that I've been watching on the side, but I immediately put that one over to next Fiction Week because I watched like 2 episodes of this one I'm going to talk about now and was like, this is meme worthy. This is
That's
worthy
good.
of it.
Good.
So, I suppose I don't know why I'm saying I don't suppose you won't.
I suppose!
I thought you just shouted Asbos really loudly. I don't know why you did. So, Asbos!
I've
Ow.
got one. How about you?
Look, it's like it's getting one of those in Doncaster is like getting old. It's just
It's a rite of passage. You have
Yeah,
to get an
People actually
Asbos before you
regard
can
it
leave
as
Bonnie.
like that. A lot of people like actually view it as like you haven't done anything good in the criminal world and you've got fucking Asbo and shit. That's bad.
I
Well,
don't. For FYI, I was too much of a bitch at high school. I like
Fucking
anime.
nerd.
What do y'all expect? Anyway,
I'm sure there are violent anime people out there. As in
Probably.
the fans, the characters are definitely violent.
you should see like the fallout after the waifu wars.
The what?
The waifu wars.
A
I
man
note that
crying
down
in
and
the,
do
a man
fact-
crying in the tent, looking forward. It's like, what's
week
wrong
on
with him?
Fact Week,
Don't
it's the
talk to
waifu
him. He's
war.
lost his waifu.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah.
What? But you're still here. Shut up, noob.
Anyway, I want to talk about this week a show called "Is This a Zombie?"
Ooh.
Oh.
Is this a zombie?
Is it?
Question mark. Kore wa zombie desu ka? In Japanese.
Go away, a zombie in this guy. I love that. Certain words in other languages are just English,
I'm not sure
just
they would have
because
said,
they're.
said it so enthusiastically.
I don't know.
What,
Questionly.
which part? The Japanese pronunciation or the English one?
Both.
I mean, it's hard to say. I can't even say it without doing it fabulously. Kore wa zombie desu ka?
Go away, a zombie this guy.
He gets it.
Someone you just sounds professionally happy whenever you do anything in another language.
I mean, that is the That
Glad
is what I'm
boy.
reading. That is the Japanese spelling of it.
Fantastic.
Anyway,
Glad
is
boy,
this
the
a
Anglo-
zombie?
genuine- Sorry.
Now, before I go into this, plot synopsis, I sort of just want to... I've been wanting to watch this anime for a while. It's just I had nowhere to watch it. And then I found out I could watch it on Funimation with a VPN. Which sounds like a sponsor, but it's not.
Hey, are we sponsored now?
No.
No.
But, no, because this is a setup to the issues I had getting ready to watch this. So,
Jesus.
I put my VPN on, I looked at the thing, and I was like, okay, I'm going to watch this. So I put it in Japanese, as I do
I'm
with
loving the hand
subtitles.
gestures right now.
It's just white. Yeah. So I tried to load this up Japanese with subs, which is the way I prefer to watch anime. For some reason, the subtitles weren't working.
So you had to very quickly learn fluent Japanese so you could watch it.
No, sadly I had.
How-to Japanese book.
No, sadly I watched the dub.
Or I was going to
Because
say, did you get subs for another anime and put them on top?
No, because that would just be more confusing.
No, Sasuke, it's not my ninja way. The zombie bites
and
down
someone's
on
holding a
someone.
kitten.
Oh.
But yeah, so like going into this, like I spent like a good like 10-15 minutes that, and I couldn't get the sound to play on my TV for some fucking reason. Because I just wanted to like zone out and not have to wear my headphones because these things are kind of tight on my head. So
That's a big head.
they're like noise cancelling, so they kind of press down slightly just to eliminate all background noise. So I'm like, I just want to like play the sound out of my TV and like watch it normally, and it's just like, okay, we can't get your subs to work and your sound's not coming through your TV. So I was already off to a bad start. And then I had to then I was forced to watch the dub, which
Oh, they held him at gunpoint.
I mean, if I wanted to watch the show, I had to watch the dub.
version. Enjoy
I
the
mean-
mediocre English accents.
I mean,
Held
the
at
dub
dub
was...
point.
Held at dub point. Oh, that's
I
good.
think I found my title, but
Yeah.
but yeah, the dub was all right, but I can't help but feel like there was a moment where I was like, I would be enjoying this show if I was watching it in subbed more, because everyone's voices were all right, but I don't know, the main protagonist just sounded perpetually bored.
It's one of those things also that when it's in English, because you obviously speak English, you can actually understand that it's bad acting or bad voice acting.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's Japanese, you can't really tell a lot of the time, which is a plus.
I feel like I've watched enough anime to know when the voice VAs are phoning it in, to be fair.
Yeah,
But
it's like they got the materials. Like, I need a paycheck, whatever, kind of thing.
rewind to school days back at the start of this thing. I will roast that. I will roast that. I will roast that show on this podcast at some point, but today's not that day.
Does that mean we're going to get something that isn't a positive sausage, octopus, pork knuckle, whatever the scoring is at this point?
Dude, I will preempt that by saying School Days is a fucking like 3 out of 10.
Oh.
Oof. So that's 3 out of 10 sausage octopus with no pork knuckle. This is bad.
Oh, is the pork knuckle the seal of approval?
That's a low
Yes.
rating.
Yes.
It's against a pork middle finger.
Ooh. The ham bone. Oh no.
Yes. Yeah, slight discrepancies about me and my slightly already tilted view of this show. I should actually tell you what it's about. So, as always, I'm going to run down the list of main characters, of which there are 5. One of which I am guaranteed you will wince at, because it's just that way. Which this
It'd just be like that.
As long as his last name isn't Skywalker, I don't give a shit. Let's go.
Oh no, it's far worse.
Right.
Okay, so we have our main protagonist, who I said in the dub perpetually sounds bored as shit, which is probably because he's a zombie. Ayumu Aikawa. He is literally he's just your normal school kid, except he's a zombie.
Ah.
Anyone else?
He was.
Fair enough.
Say again, Matt.
Anyone else
That
getting
does sound-
Warm
yeah.
Bodies 5? And I hate
I
myself for bringing up that movie, which is shit.
I haven't seen it, so.
Necrophilia, the movie, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
It's literally that.
Yeah, I remember. I think I watched it in the same month. I also watched Guillermo del Toro's Fish Fetish. You know the what's it called again?
Yes, Woman Fucks
Shape of
Fish,
Water.
the movie. Yeah.
Yeah, there.
I'm
That one.
trying to
Shape
figure
of
out
Water,
if that
yeah.
was the actual name.
No,
Guillermo del Toro presents Fish Fetish.
it is what it is.
Nope.
Oh,
No wonder I didn't understand Death Stranding. Anyway,
Unplayable.
as I say, we got a main character, Ayumu, who is basically a zombie. He was murdered, and like the first few episodes of this show are like him trying to find who murdered him.
did we get confirmation on how he died?
Yes, he was stabbed from behind
Did
through and
Forensic
through.
evidence show that.
they get the forensics in?
No,
I guess
No, he
he walked
just
off before that.
he just remembers.
I remember the betrayal.
Anyway, we have our second character, the necromancer girl who brought him back to life.
Oh god.
One Euclid Hellscythe.
I hate that
Euclid
name.
Hellscythe.
Cliff,
that is-
Jesus.
That sounds like something out of Helsing.
Euclid Hellscythe. Abbreviated to U. That is EU.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, because
not you.
it's Euclid, right? It's a non-Euclidean object and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Euclid
God.
Hellscythes.
Thank
Necromancer
God
of Hades.
taught me about that word.
Yeah, what was that, Matt?
I don't know, I was waiting for you guys. It doesn't matter.
Okay. We have... I like how two of these characters, they don't have surnames. Which... I've just
They're not
noticed
important. They're
that.
background. Fuck them.
No, I
You
mean,
don't
they actually
qualify
are.
for 2 names.
You only get one.
We have... the other thing I should mention about you, which is what I'm going to call her, because I can't be asked for calling her Euclid
That's gonna
Hellscythe.
get confusing. All right.
Or
Yeah.
you.
Yes, you.
She never
Every time you
speaks.
say that, though, I am hearing the Soldier Boy "you" sound
I
clip.
am. Yeah. It's hard not to.
The thing about you is that she never speaks throughout the thing. She like writes notes down and like to communicate. However, there are scenes in the main character's head where like he imagines her saying like really weird, like risque stuff, and they change the voice actress for that every episode. So this actually has the most voice actresses for one character in any anime.
Is that because they couldn't get the same person in, or was it the
do you-
idea?
No, that was the
Just
running
close.
gag. They kept changing her name.
Do you
Because
think that they thought
her normal
that
character doesn't speak.
Oh,
So
okay,
this-
gotcha.
It's his
do you think-
imagination that keeps changing her voice.
Do you think that this anime just it did that? Like the creators did that because they thought this is really not a good thing. We might as well get something on the record, but this is why we've got the most of, or we did a new thing. So we're the one with the most voice actresses for one character. Boom. At least let's put it on the record books in some way, and we're not just entirely crap.
No, because Tom just explained it.
We have Harina, who is a...
Huh?
I always forget what they call it. It's not a magical girl. It's a magical garment girl, they call it. They're not actually magical girls. It's just the clothes they wear are magical.
Right.
Anyway, she
Right,
comes in
okay.
here with a magical fucking chainsaw called Mistletoe.
Or
But that's not clothes. You can't.
That's
You
not.
can't wear a
don't wear
chainsaw.
chainsaws.
Yeah, I think you'll
My
find...
chainsaw bangles hang from my wrists.
Only if it's Christmas.
And
So I have a
and
chainsaw.
she's here to
Kiss me
battle
under the chainsaw.
I'd believe it.
Yeah.
And she's here to battle demons known as Megalos, according to Wikipedia. I feel like that's not the pronunciation they use, but that might be a dubbing difference.
Oh god, now there's
And
bloody.
this might actually be a translation thing.
And now there's demons.
Oh, just you wait, because the other final character I have to introduce is Seraphim, a vampire ninja.
Oh, yes. Kicking it into a home run for weirdness.
This just feels bad. This just feels like so tropey and painful.
Here comes the Naruto Twilight fanfic.
Master of the Swallow Reverse Strike.
I thought you had to pay like $15.
Sorry, Tom, did you just say a sex move?
Yes, the Swallow Reverse Strike.
I have to report that earlier today a man was killed performing the Swallow Reverse Strike, a highly illegal maneuver in the bedroom.
Forensics have determined he has died via the...
by the forensics.
We sent forensic scientists in there, and the evidence they gathered shows.
That
He
feels
died
like
by
that,
the swallow reverse strike.
was a
it sounds horrifying because it sounds like a success where what would usually come out would go back in.
Oh
And I'm like,
god! Wait, is that the ultimate? You know what? I'm not gonna follow through with that.
Maybe
No,
don't
yes.
finish that sentence, Matt.
It is the ultimate birth control. Good on you, Matt.
Yes, that's what I said. Yes.
I forgot
Oh, dear.
there is another vampire girl in here, but she's not a ninja as far as I'm aware. Unless all vampires are ninjas in this, I don't fucking remember.
Is that where we go back and do like the question at the start? We ask if all
Are vampires ninjas? Are all
Technically.
ninjas vampires, or are all vampires ninjas?
That's gonna make for honor.
No,
All
yes.
vampires are ninjas, but not all ninjas are vampires?
Yeah, it's like fingers and thumbs.
Yes. Anyway,
Continue with the
I'm
shame
gonna say
first.
there
Anyway.
was there was another vampire in this show called Yuki, and she exists. She's probably my favorite girl in this thing, but she only exists about 6 episodes in.
before
And the
then,
fact
she
that
didn't
he
exist.
accidentally
She
kisses her
just
means that they're
burst
married.
into existence in episode 6.
Because that's just how vampires do. Anyway, I should actually try and explain this plot because it gets worse. It gets. So as I stated, our main character Ayumu is I want to say a vampire.
A zombie.
No, he's a zombie. Yeah, he's a zombie and he's been resurrected by this girl who, for some reason, has decided to move in with him.
Like
She
a
does-
manservant?
Like he is, because she's the necromancer and he is what she's raised.
Yeah.
But she's
I don't
moved
know-
into his place.
The other thing you should know
Dude,
about
I
90%
live
of
here now.
the other thing you should know about 90% of anime protagonists, they don't either their parents are away for business constantly or they're dead.
Yeah, there's one or two
Very,
things.
very
Yeah.
typical.
Either way, they're not around.
It's like D&D characters. The parents have to be out of the picture in some way.
It's like one small town where they're either divorced, but they're never
Or secret
there.
gamblers,
Have a
Or
secret
runaways.
Kakegurui style. As
We
a
will
reference
eventually
for
meet
John
more
who made
parents in the
internet.
show.
Anyway, this zombie is basically like the opening scene is he wakes up, gets out, goes to school. He's checking the weather and he's like, oh well, it's not going to be sunny. Thank God for that, because there's never addressed, or it's very rarely addressed. But if he goes out in the sun, he dries up.
Oh god.
Me too, to be fair.
I mean, yeah, but he's a zombie. Also, I feel like they need to shoehorn that fact into every episode. There's always at least one thing. It's like, well, I'm a zombie, don't you know? And it's just like, yeah, we get the fucking picture. But yeah,
Hey, which way is it to the science lab? Well, I'm a zombie, so...
it's that way.
Oh, it's like
Don't ask me. I'm just a zombie.
it's like the
Did it-
vegans of the undead.
Oh
Yeah.
god. Did they address the fact that he's probably smells?
No.
Hmm.
He still washes. He's just decomposing. Actually, I don't know.
Right, I'm getting the
It never
gauntlet of shame.
specifies.
Gauntlet of shame.
Anyway, so as he's walking to school, he sees there's 2 cats, an adult and a kitten, and the adult runs across the road and the kitten follows it, and the kitten's nearly about to be hit by a truck or whatever, and so he runs over the thing to shield the kitten from this truck, and he gets hit by the truck instead, and he's just like, it's fine, I'm a zombie.
Wait, this wasn't the same thing you sent us that video to of the girl getting
No,
hit.
that's Zombieland Saga.
Right, yes.
God,
There's
yeah,
a
that-
lot of zombies being hit by trucks. No, she was actually killed by that truck. That's the
Right,
difference.
okay.
He was already dead when he was hit by a truck.
Right.
But yeah, he basically runs into the thing and this saves this cat, and they'd make it this whole gag of him flying through the air while protecting this cat, and it's just it's all right. I feel like this is the most. It's probably
Get hit by truck
Again.
again.
probably would be better if I watched the sub. Anyway,
The
so
sub-
he
sub-
goes about his school life. He's hanging out with one of his friends at school who I can't remember his name. All I remember is that he's just such a fucking he's one of those characters where he talks about always wanting to get laid, but he's so lame that he never does.
I
Oh,
think
he's a
people
fucking
like that.
meta. Anyway.
There's a great scene at like
the gauntlet's
in
out.
the OVA. There's a scene
Your
where
archetype.
all the girls are like trying to do like idol shit, and he's just like, and he speaks to his best friend, and he's like, they're rising up the ranks really quickly. Dude, why do you care? Why do you care about all this idol stuff, and why do you know so much? He's like, why don't you know so much? Well, because I don't spend all my time jacking off to online idol stars. Well, maybe you should. That's the exchange that happens. Yeah. Well,
Interesting.
maybe you should.
Allow me to educate on how you should spend your internet time.
I'll spend
Can
all
link
my
you to a
time
WikiHow article.
Maybe you should. But yeah, he's talking about this. He just talks about some shit or whatever, and then like there's just him like doing normal life stuff, and then he's like, next scene is like him like sat in a graveyard. He's like, maybe it's because I'm dead, but I just sort of kind of feel at peace here. And then he's just
That
like,
does make
yeah,
sense.
because because he's a zombie.
Was it the graveyard where he was buried, or is it just one of those ones you find on the street?
Oh no, he's still got his own body. He's not like a ghost.
One of those graveyards you just find lying around.
I realised
wasn't-
they made it sound like it's just a casual graveyard on the side.
I think that's just called a bin, Matt. Anyway.
It's the field.
Get him in the graveyard.
It's a graveyard of Red Bull cans.
Folds the body up and slots them in the bin.
This is where I belong.
Anyway, he sat in this graveyard just like umming and ahhing about life and stuff, and like this is when he's like, this is when he monologues about wanting to catch this serial killer that killed him. Because they've been just out murdering bitches because
Actually, do.
as serial killers do. And
Classic
it's like,
serial killers.
I want to catch
Everyone
this
has a
serial
hobby,
killer.
you know.
Yeah.
When, like, from like nowhere, the magical girl, Haruna, she like jumps and tries to like attack him. She like literally like things from the sky, like just for no other reason than you can get a good upskirt shot. And then she,
whatever it's called, fan surface.
yes,
Deadlier.
fans. I mean, this is technically a horror show.
Of course it's a harem show. Like,
Even though there's only like 4 girls.
have you talked about one that hasn't been one yet?
Yes,
I can't answer which one it was because I don't remember any of them.
the first one,
That makes sense.
Kaguya-sama.
Right, yeah, he's right. The first one isn't. The rest
To
have been.
be fair, neither Shimoneta.
I guess. Anyway.
And neither was Love Tuning of the Delusions. So
You're wrong, John.
No,
Yeah.
I was wrong with the first case. I'll definitely.
in my mind, this was like
Kaguya-sama.
the first harem show I'd brought, which is bad because I did want to open this week with Data Live instead. Which is, you think harems are bad now? Just fucking wait until I talk about Data Live.
Okay.
Yeah, he's attacked by the Haruna, the magical girl the magical
Hunting
garment
demons.
girl. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she's out fighting a megalos in the graveyard, and there's no, as far as I'm aware, there's no clarification on this. But as she attacks him, she like cleaves his hand off or something, and then she like turns around to face the megalos, and because she's run out of magical power, her clothes disappear.
What?
What?
Well, she gets all the powers from her clothes, and if she run out of power, her clothes disappear.
Do the clothes not?
See,
That's
this
not
is
how
the part.
clothes
Of
work.
course they do.
Have you
It
ever
does
been
when it
outside
magically
and your
transform
clothes
into them.
run out of power and
This
disappear?
never happened to you.
Oh no, my shoes have run out of power. Vanish.
This
from my
anime
feet.
does sound somewhat painful to watch.
I mean, it's. I'm gonna like say right now, 6 out of 10. Because
But
there were some parts that were actually funny.
1 to 3 out of 10. Like literally 10, 15
No, the
minutes
3 out
ago.
of 10 was another one. That was
That's
school
school
That was
days.
for
Oh,
school
yes.
days.
Okay, alright, fair enough.
Which, as I said, I've never been angry at something until I watched School Days. But no,
Okay.
in his entire
the
life.
bit I don't understand about this whole part is like somewhere in this exchange, like Ayamu has stolen some of Haruna's power, so she tries to transform back into a magical girl, and she like gets the outfit, and then it immediately disappears. So like she can't like
You just said
transform back.
words at me, and my brain has failed to process them.
Has anyone else followed, or do you need a repeat?
I've
two or
basically.
three names, and I'm not sure
The
who they
zombie
are.
had taken some of her power, so when she tried to transform, she transformed briefly but couldn't.
She couldn't sustain that power.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, like, there's someone. She's like, we have to fight this Megalos or whatever. So, like, the zombie basically gives a spiel is like, where he goes up and just like fucking decks it, just because, and he's like, and he gives a spiel about humans are limited because they can only use so much of their power without the brain like restricting them from using any more. I can use all of that power because of reasons, even though zombies still feel pain, apparently.
Oh, what? When he feels pain, he's still got the
The
limit.
way you phrased it made it sound so edgy.
Yeah, it's a thing that lets like people lift cars off babies and shit like
Yeah,
that.
it's
That's
adrenaline disables
Yeah.
the
If you did it 24/7, you rip yourself apart.
Yeah.
Well, that's like one of the things he does. He
Yeah,
like
that's
goes
the thing.
and decks this thing, and he breaks his other arm like trying to punch this thing.
Yeah.
Nice.
But he still feels pain, so what's the limit to?
It just means he can just use his. Like, he needs an excuse
yeah.
to make him powerful, I guess.
I guess the
I guess,
limit
yeah.
to John is breaking his body to the point it can't move, and then he has to get healed.
Yeah, that would be it. Yeah.
And he's a one-punch man in the sense that he can punch him once and then his arms don't work.
Fuck! It's Decky all over again.
Yeah. So he like tries to punch this thing, and it does like recoil and thingy, but the magical girl tells him basically is like, you need to actually kill them with the magical chainsaw weapon, otherwise like you can't like finish them off. So she tells him to use the chainsaw, which means that he has to turn into a magical girl.
Right.
So obviously this
Okay.
means transvestitism.
Yeah.
So they do the whole thing of like him doing the transforming into a magical girl bit where
Oh,
they do
God,
like
a Sailor Moon S.
yeah, they do
exactly.
they do the Sailor Moon thing, but with him. So he is there in the dress with the chainsaw, and it's just like, okay, well now what the fuck do I do? Like,
It's a
just attack him
chainsaw,
with the
chainsaw
chainsaw,
him,
you
yeah.
fuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, magical girl, A-class tsundere. And by A-class, I mean like B-class,
Jesus.
because she's not violent.
Right. I remember what those are.
I was gonna say good, because... So she does like just insult him, mainly because A,
Yeah.
he saw her naked for like the first time he met her, and B, he stole her power and she's not leaving until she gets that back.
This is the plot of Bleach.
God.
Sorry, I just had a horrible realization. That's the first episode of Bleach. I'm sorry.
Technically, it's also the first episode of Pokemon where Ash steals Misty's bike and she's not leaving until she gets another bike.
To be fair, bike is powerful in Pokemon if you've played the games. Double the speed!
Anyway, so yeah, he transforms into a magical girl, and then he kills the demon. Which I think it looks like, I can't remember, is the first one the one that looks like a giant bear? I think it is.
There's a
I
bear
know is it
theme
gets-
to this episode.
Huh. Can it run down a hill?
I
Yes.
don't know, the graveyard was pretty flat.
Oh no, a mild incline.
Although it'd be funny if that was actually true, where bears couldn't run downhill, but they trip. But then you're suddenly like, yes, I can get away from the bear. But the bear just starts like rolling. Like, oh no, it's a bear boulder. This is so much worse.
Panjandrum.
The bear walks to the side and takes a lift down.
I was
Like a
picturing it like
Spanish
I was picturing it like
Yeah.
the Droidicas.
Yeah, I was thinking
Star
droidicas
Wars.
or bears. I mean, pandas can do it. Have you seen pandas roll? They roll like
That's
crazy.
true, yeah. That's how they get you. Back when pandas used to eat meat, they'd roll after their prey. That is a non-verified fact. Do not take that at face value.
Pandas used to spin dash like Sonic.
This is unverified, but definitely true.
Spin dashing pandas. Just crouch, press B, and you're off like a panda.
But you have to like hold down A to rev the panda up before it starts. But if you do it too long, it can't keep the ball shape.
God.
Panda Mario Kart.
Pandemonium. Anyway, let's continue.
Hey.
Hey.
Tisk. So yeah, basically this magical girl, because like she's coming here to hunt the things. She boils it down to A, she's got nowhere to live, so she follows him back, and B, she follows him back because she wants her pal back, and she's not leaving until she's got it.
Oh, I thought it was the necromancer that was living with him.
She did, and
She
she
is.
is.
Oh,
The
so
other
they're
girl
both,
moves in as well.
they're both coming back.
It's
Yes.
a harem, yep.
Oh,
a
right.
harem, yeah.
Yep, gotcha. How big's his house? Slash flat.
This is
Also, why
It's one
isn't
of
he
those-
repossessed yet? He's dead.
I know, but his parents are away for business.
They're on
His
business.
parents know he got killed?
True.
I don't think so.
Uh,
Because his body got reanimated by the necromancer, so
True, obviously before it got buried.
I'm assuming that was quite fast after he got stabbed.
She's probably the serial killer.
she actually isn't, but
Damn.
there's a part in like episode 3 where they make you think it's make it think she's the serial killer, but she does this whole
And she
like
gets stabbed.
no, she doesn't. Look,
Could a serial killer
you really
do this?
think Ilkley would Hellscythe, necromancer of Hades, could be stabbed by anyone?
yeah, I feel like she tripped over her own name. Oh, Christ.
I've impaled myself on my Y.
There's no Y unless it's the Y in Hellscythe.
Yeah. Sure.
Sure.
'Cause
You've just
it's
saved Matt.
EU for Euclid.
Yes, you've just saved me, Tom. Now let's keep going.
Anyway, so that's basically like the plot of the first episode. And the second episode, like, I don't know, he's making dinner for all of them, and he's like, they both ask for seconds, and then the vampire ninja just shows up and also asks for seconds. He's like, okay, and who the fuck are
Wait,
you, and why are you in
say-
my house?
With no explanation, they're just
But they
there. It was
haven't
like,
had food.
Yeah,
to
it's-
introduce this character, I don't know, let's just have him ask for food.
This
Yeah,
does
that's
sound
literally
like
it.
introducing a character into an already established D&D campaign when no one's got
Yeah.
any clue what to do with them. And it's like, yeah,
Oh,
fuck it, they're there
Bob,
now.
you're in a
That's
jail
literally
now.
what it was. He's like, can I have some more miso soup? And he's just like, okay, and who the fuck are you, and why are you in my house?
Good questions to ask.
To which
Yeah.
she introduces herself as Seraphim, the vampire ninja, master of
She's-
the... What did I call? What did I say
Swallow
it was called?
back thrust or something.
The swallow.
The
swallow
so-
reverse strike.
Yeah,
The swallow
Swallow-
reverse strike.
That's
that was
it.
its strike.
Definitely
I'm sorry,
not
guys.
what I-
See, I'm looking at it on here, and I
Wrong.
think they changed it in the. I think that's what they changed it to in the dub, because on here it's literally just called the swallow cut, which I
Okay.
think sounds worse because it's less anime. I
I
prefer
feel
like
I would feel less worried if someone said they were going to do the swallow cut to me, because I'd be thinking that it's like a move based on the bird, the swallow, whereas the
Yeah.
swallow reverse strike, or whatever it's called, sounds like it's going to rip my throat out and shove it somewhere I don't want it to go.
I mean, she is a vampire ninja, Matt.
I've just suddenly realised a vampire ninja would actually be quite shit because they wouldn't be able to get into anyone's house. They have to ask permission, don't they?
Okay.
Well, she invited herself into his fucking house.
I know she's someone managed it. That's what I
Yeah.
was thinking. So how the fuck did you get up there?
Maybe it's up for interpretation. When he says, "Oh, feel free to come inside," to someone else, she's just like, "Don't mind if I do."
Don't mind if I do.
You've got to be very careful with the phrase "make yourself at home."
But yeah, she basically comes in and says that she does this thing where she calls the main protagonist. She like refers to him as the maggot.
Oh, that's nice. What a cute name.
I mean, he is a zombie.
Does he actually
Yeah.
have a maggot friend?
Does he have
little
maggots in
maggots
him?
living in him?
He probably does, but I don't know. Like how again, I don't.
Oh,
they
my
don't go into
maggot.
deets of how the.
It would depend how long
necromancy
after
works.
after the Euclid, what the fucking name is, found him.
You. We'll call her you.
Yes.
In the same way they call Seraphim Sarah.
John is cringing so hard right now.
Look, I said the other girl was called Yuki. That's just the Japanese name she uses to disguise herself. Her real name is Male.
What?
What?
First name Male, surname Strom.
Uh,
Her name is Male Strom.
I hate it.
Where's the gauntlet of shame?
John, the Gauntlet of Shame sounds like an anti-sex device.
It is.
I want to clarify for the listeners: when John says "gauntlet of shame," he is putting on a gauntlet that he owns.
I don't know
from a
if he
suit of
feels
armor.
shame while wearing it.
Armored
Or...
gauntlet, not a weird gauntlet.
It can be both. Yeah.
depends what mood you're in.
Anyway, so what was I? Oh yeah, Seraphim basically says like only she is like worthy of serving Euclid. Euclid. I can't. That's her name. Fucking
All
gonna
of
go with
you.
that. Yeah.
Euclid.
So she basically turns up and challenges Protag to a duel.
As
So
you do.
be like who?
He gave
who
her
should
miso
be.
soup.
He fed her first. Don't worry.
But
Fucking-
He has manners.
The right hospitality means you get the fuck off of this right now.
exactly.
You gotta have the gruel, then do the duel.
The gruel and do the duel. I don't think Julie de Albany went by those rules.
It's the old gruel duel maneuver. Classic.
As seen in Oliver Twist.
The gruel duel, of which the swallow return strike is vital.
Do you swallow some of the gruel and then spit it back out at them?
Yeah, that's why it's the swallow reverse. You swallow it, then you reverse it back.
Oh god, you regurgitate it. You just vomit on them.
Which a swallow the bird could do.
I mean, I really hope this isn't a duel to the death, because there's a fatal flaw in that, because, well, the zombie won't. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're not
They're
going to
both
win.
That's
They're
the
both
point.
technically
That's what he tells him. He literally is like, she's like, makes a point where she's like, oh, I'll kill you to win the thing. He's like, well, can't die, so I don't know what to tell you on that one.
I'm just going to wait here. Do what you do.
But there is a point where like during the duel she does like slice his hand off while he's trying to dodge, and then
It seems
She
like
likes-
a recurring theme.
yeah, well but then he like uses his hand as a projectile. He throws his hand at her
Yeah.
while she's not expecting it.
Oh, but can you imagine how horrified it'd be? Just like, I have won the duel. just a fucking hand.
No,
claps on
you
your
know
back.
how you slap people with a glove before a duel? You just do it with your hand.
Yeah. Oh,
And
God.
then like
Wait,
he does
I did that. That's the Outlaws. Anyway, let's continue.
the way that he finishes this duel is like she tries to like stab him through the chest, and basically what he does after that is he just like grabs the blade with like I don't know, I guess with his other hand. I
His
don't know.
remaining hand, I would imagine.
Yeah, he does that like
Grabs it with his wrists.
I should mention this that she does this thing as well where time she like tries to summon a weapon, it's a weapon made of leaves. I don't know why. It's never
Razor-
explained.
Razor leaves.
Yeah.
Animators felt like it. Anyway,
Yeah. So he does the thing where as she's like stabbing him and like they're face to face, he crushes the blade with his other hand and then just fucking headbutts her.
that's why you do it.
Lurks her essentially.
And then she's like, "Well, guess I'm not winning." And then Yu's basically like, "Why don't you live here as his servant, and then like you will indirectly serve me while serving him?" And she's like, "This is acceptable."
Behold my logic.
Yeah. And then he tries to be like, "Okay, but you do that, you gotta feed me and you gotta wash me." She's like, "No, maggot, I refuse." And he's just like, "Oh, well, I know where I stand then."
But mistress, tell her she has to.
I think he literally says that to her, and she's just like, "Nope."
Oh, just feel sorry for this guy. I understand why the guy sounds bored. Like, part of me was like, maybe because he's a zombie, he can only project that tone of voice. But no, I think he's just done with this shit.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to be here anymore. This is bullshit.
He's reached the point where nothing surprises him anymore. It's just like, yeah, this might as well happen.
Yeah, it's a vampire ninja with leaf blades.
I guess when you lose risk in your life, you also lose an element of excitement. And
I'm pretty sure that's like the
John's
main
hitting a
deal
bit
with
too
the
close
like
to
the
home
big
there.
bad, the big bad of the first season. Because it was another zombie. The big bad turns into like after they find the serial killer, it was possessed by like someone else, and basically this was another zombie that you had revived, but he basically he's like, I just don't care anymore. I just want to die at this point, and he's just like, but he can't die. So basically his whole thing is trying to get to you is like, okay, I need you to kill me. But she won't, because every time she kills someone, she feels the pain of them dying.
Someone she's raised. Or...
Yeah.
If
It's a
she
very
were to
interesting
die,
way of
would
doing
all
necromancy,
her-
in my
It
opinion.
is.
But
That is a cool way. If she were to die, would all her...
I'm curious whether
die
we're
as well?
just going to get to a point where he just throttles her out of existence.
I think so, but they make you. It's weird because In the show, she never does anything to show this power, but they make her out because she's the
Oh,
necromancer
it's
of
a
Hades that she's like
tell
one of the most
adventure.
powerful beings in existence.
Alright.
And yet they fucking do nothing with it.
Yeah.
Apart
Right.
from fighting the serial killer, where literally she tells the serial killer to die, and the serial killer just dies.
Huh.
Like her words are magical.
Oh, man.
Word of radiance.
But she's like
fuck you
every
up.
time. Every time she like tells the serial killer to die, like she feels the pain of them dying.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, the serial killer is probably the best fucking antagonist this show has, because there's a scene where like as she's been killing people, she's been like not sacrificing their souls. Is it sacrificing?
I mean, maybe.
Basically, because she's been like offering up their souls as sacrifice, and basically that means that she keeps getting like extra lives. Is the way they describe it.
Kill someone, sacrifice them. One up.
Yeah, it's basically, so like she's
Just played a Mario life noise.
Yeah, so like the climactic scene of that is just this like small necromancer just telling this girl repeatedly to die, and it's just like her like dying and then getting back up, and then this just keeps going.
Jesus.
Huh.
And then every time she's like, so she keeps feeling the pain of like killing this other being. So every time she kills the necromancer, she's just like, I fucking hate this because of all the pain I'm feeling as she repeatedly dies in front of me.
I have just thought of something. In this scenario of this show's version of a zombie, do we have the ultimate edition of Schrodinger's cat? Because he is both alive and dead.
I mean, they never address it, but yes.
It just occurred to me now.
Okay.
And he saved a cat.
He did. It's all
I've connected two dots.
Da-na-na-na.
I don't know if they're meant to be joined.
Oh god.
Can I throw up a spoiler warning and just tell you how this ends? Because it was the
Yes,
ending that
sure.
someone that I heard about
Spoiler
that
alert.
sold me on it.
Spoiler alert.
So this is the ending to season 1. I haven't watched season 2 yet because I'm not that committed, and I still need to get back to Data Life, which is a far worse show, but...
Oh, good.
No, I say worse. Data Life is good at being trashy. And that's why it's like High School DxD.
Trashy trash. It's a big old shiny turd.
Probably High School of the Dead. Yeah.
So, towards the end of this thing, like, the big bad is like taken you elsewhere, and they're looking for him. And I don't know why. The magical girl, she like orders something in the mail, and she thought it was something else, but she's ordered a Stradivarius violin.
Ooh.
Huh.
She thought it was someone else, and like the vampire girl is like, oh, and then there's like, what the fuck is this? And the vampire girl is like, how dare you not know what a Stradivarius violin is? These are some of the most like pristine musical instruments to ever exist. And
Made
if you
in
look up
China.
Stradivarius violins, that is a fact.
I mean, they are nice.
Stradivarius violins are like they are top class violins.
They are
that
basically the best violins you can buy.
like the super professionals probably play.
I'm assuming they're
play
like Austrian German made. By the sounds of it.
them. Their name is
Or
Stratovarius.
at least in origin, I would assume.
How much? No, not the band Stratovarius. I want the violin.
It's a Fact and Fiction week. What is this witchcraft?
Sorry,
I
I just
like
had a
it.
nosebleed. I went on here and first one listed on Google Shopping. 1762 fine Italian thingy violin. 275,000 euros.
Holy shit!
Yeah, they are very. They're pretty
Oh.
good. They do think.
The next one is only 12,555 pounds.
Yeah, but like the first one, you're asking for one back from the 1700s.
Yeah.
Oh god, it reminds me when they got that particular like very old instrument through a museum for the Hateful Eight, and they were going to destroy a copy of it, but then Kurt
Just
Russell
Quentin Tarantino's
accidentally.
movie.
No, yeah, they did, and Kurt Russell accidentally broke the real one.
Oh, no.
Smashed it up. Yeah, the museum were not fucking happy.
That
Yeah,
money
You
made no
Kurt,
profit.
you're so wonderful, but at the same time,
Anyway, so yeah,
Why?
they do this violin, they get this violin, and this violin for some reason is fucking important because during like the final confrontation, there's like weird shit going on outside where the protag and the magical girl are stood with the big bad and you trying to get the necromancer girl back.
Yeah.
And then outside, like, you know those like demon creatures I was on about? I forgot what they're called. The megalos. Megalos.
Yeah.
Megalos
Yeah,
sounds like a ye olde like rhinoceros from the Ice Age.
I mean, they are all based
I think
on
you're thinking
they are
of
all based on
Megalotherium.
I'm
mammals,
thinking of Megalotherium.
which is funny I say that because there's a scene where like something appears in the sky and like loads of megalos appear and start flying around like loads of megalos whales appear in the sky and just start flying around.
And I was imagining a whale lord just.
Yeah, but there's loads of them, and they were like, how do we seal this thing or whatever? And it's like, the vampire ninjas have to play the music.
Of course.
So
I'm
So
sorry.
there's a scene at the end with like the flying whales and the thing, and then there's on a nearby building there's a fucking vampire orchestra just playing.
Okay, that is a great image in my mind. Dun 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 dun.
And then
Dun,
like
dun, dun, dun.
the main vampire, and Seraphim's just like at the center, just playing the Stradivarius.
I feel like they just were googling stuff one day and looked at this expensive stuff. Went, that's cool. Let's put this in.
I mean, if I pitched to you fighting flying whales with vampires playing violins,
I would
It's
be
certainly a
intrigued.
thing. Yeah.
It's a concept.
I would want to see it.
It sounds like it could work as a YouTube short, as like a weird animated.
I need to see if I can actually like find it, but I remember because they pan around to the other girl. Like there's I mentioned the other girl that was there, the Yuki girl, who I said's name was Hailstrom.
Oh
Like
yeah.
they pan around to her, like everyone's playing all these like normal like things you expect in an instrument. Then they pan around to her who's from a different clan, and she's just stood there with a triangle.
That's fair.
Everybody
I like that.
finishes, and does she just ding the triangle and the portal closes?
But then just echoes out like that was the final blow.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's the only part I wanted to describe to. Oh no, the other final thing is like it's like as they get the thing and like the big guy gets his wish and he gets to die, but then he says to you as he's dying, he's like, "Can you do me one last favor? Can you turn me into a penguin? Because I fucking love penguins." And the only foreshadowing they had to this was earlier in the episode. He was stood like a zoo looking at the penguins and been like, "Man, you've got a good life."
Oh, you get to eat fish whole. You can sit on eggs. Boy, you even go in the water
fair,
sometimes.
Penguins are pretty cool.
Ugh.
Good. Uh,
Yeah, this show it's a show. I'll give it that.
It sure is a show.
It's a thing that exists.
It was made back in the 2011. Jesus Christ.
oh God, that's actually relatively old nowadays.
Yes, that is
Yeah.
January to March 2011 is when it aired.
No other sequel.
Oh no, it had a second series.
Jesus Christ.
Was he a
Which
penguin
aired
in
the
it?
next year. I haven't watched season 2, so I don't know if it's any good. But
So I
mean,
think when you find an anime from like 2016, it's like, really good, and you go check look and season, it's only got the one season. Like, yeah, that's dead forever. That's never getting anywhere.
I mean, like that was a lot of shows that
That
had
was.
like yeah, and now like that companies are actually into making more seasons. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is this
Like-
witchcraft? So much like it brings in more money.
Like, is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon? When was the first season of that made?
It's almost
That
as though
feels like 2016.
Netflix is paying us.
I just want to check when this was. No, not on fucking Crunchyroll. That's not going to answer my questions.
I feel like it was 2016.
Their first season of the anime aired in 2015, and they got
Ooh.
their second season in 2019.
So only a slight
Wait,
delay.
With season 3 supposedly coming out this year, but who knows, because, you know,
Yep.
Corona.
Takes ages. Like Attack on Titan season 2 took bloody forever to come out.
Well, no, that's because they had, like, producer issues, I think. I
Mm.
thought that was, like, something sus happened in the background.
Well,
Just money laundering.
Actually,
Anyway.
anyway, laundry that's suspicious. Oh, thank
Anyway,
you
as
for
I say,
that thing, Tom. Jesus
6 out of
Christ.
10 sausage octopi. This would probably been better if I'd watched the sub.
6 out of 10.
get
And remind the people of the name.
Is this a zombie?
There you go.
The answer
It's
is
on.
yes.
If you are American, it's on
Oh, it's
Funimation.
Jigglypuff seen from above.
No, it's Pikachu rammed into some horrid shape.
It's Pikachu. It's not.
Joe.
Christ.
Oh, well, I'd say that wraps up Fiction Week in a tidy little bow. Shove some pluggables in. Tell the listeners
Alright.
what they
Tom,
can
you want to go
find
first?
I
In-
am
we'll do the
alarmed
pluggables
that
and we'll do the
John's
proverbs.
getting at the clock. Ominous ticking intensifies from John.
It's a pipe bomb! Yay!
It's fine.
They'll pay for this.
Somebody
Anyway.
go.
Anyway,
If you want to
pluggables.
see more, if you want to see more dated references like that, you can find me on youtube.com/guy. Well, it's not Gaius Nix. That's what I am on the Twitters and on Twitch. My YouTube link, if you're watching this on the YouTube, and to be fair, it's also on Spotify now. Yeah, but the link to my YouTube is there. If you search Gaius Nixler, you will find me. That's Guias because I can't spell.
Yeah, Guiz.
Where's
That's me
new?
done.
I also have a YouTube channel, which is Tom H. Jordan. You should be able to find just by typing in with the initial. I also have a Twitter, which is @randomjot, and I have comics on a Facebook page called Random Jot Comics.
All skillfully made through the Mac equivalent of paint.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, I think you're doing well with that, to be honest. I wouldn't know how to go with a bloody Mac paint thing. It'd be bad. It'd be bad.
I do a trackpad, like Jesus Christ.
Mm.
Oh, speaking of Jesus Christ, John, claw my eyeballs out my skull was something I hate.
Right.
Oh, isn't
Now
this
it's
the
real or
made-up
fake proverb
metaphors?
time. I don't know why I went Russian. Anyway,
You say
Am I
this is the-
Russian? Yes or no?
10
10 seconds after I finish the answer.
The answer
Real or
might
fake?
surprise you.
Yes.
Russian
name-
clickbait.
Here we are.
John is Russian clickbait.
Yeah, actually, he's not wrong. Anyway, the swallow may fly south with the sun, or the house martyr of the plover may seek warmer climes in winter, yet these are not strangers to our land.
True. That's real.
Okay.
False.
I'm also going to go with false.
Alright, Corby and Tom get that. It's not a real proverb, it's a quote from Monty Python.
I always get it wrong.
It's a fucking good answer.
Me and Tom are at 2 or
These are
3
not
right now.
strangers to our lands.
I don't think I've got any of them right.
I don't think it's fine.
Me and Tom are at
I-
2 or 3. We only got the first one. Me and Tom are at 2 out of 3. We got the first one.
We all got
wrong.
the first one right.
And as Meatloaf once said, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
It ain't. Boy,
Good night,
He
everybody.
did say that.
All praise Meatloaf.